Life will always be full of distractions. Dimple said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I said, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. And so during the adversities of where we are and what we are facing, you want to have some things that you're doing that will give you the tools, the mindset, the mental resolve to handle whatever life throws at you. Why, Les? Because whatever life throws at you, you have in you. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You have in you to handle it. You have built-in greatness. You have built-in power, authority, and dominion to handle whatever life throws at you. And life is going to be throwing a lot of stuff. Nobody's going to be spared. That's why Viktor Frankl called it unavoidable suffering. But suffering is a choice. You have a choice because you can suffer or you can choose to do whatever you need to do to liberate yourself, whatever you need to do to reinvent yourself, whatever you need to do to get the help that you need to overcome whatever you are stuck in right now. It does not have to be your residency. And finding peace, make that a priority. People talk about goals and dreams. You know how many people have achieved their goals of earning a lot of money, of becoming celebrities in a miserable? Look here, I've lived that life. And it's important to get still and find out what is it I need to do to find some peace in the midst of all the stuff that's going on. And take care of you. Stuff's happening to people all around you. Take care of you. It makes sense what Iyanla said. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. This is a time to be selfish. Did he say that? Yes. You can give so much you deplete yourself. I had to learn to give to me. I had to look at my life and all the things that I was looking at, all the things that I allowed to create stress in my life, they did not belong to me. They didn't belong to me. I took them off. And I made a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I don't want this anymore. No. I'm getting this off me because life has no duplicate. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to live a happy, healthy, prosperous life. And you can't be happy and you can't live a prosperous life and a successful life if you allow yourself to be burdened with other people's things. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. And I had to learn to do that.
Traction around your ambitions, as more people follow you, as people fall in love with your magic, as you raise your game, here's what's going to happen. There is a brainwashing process and a heart-washing process and a great human seduction that happens to almost every creative person and every leader. You fall in love with yourself. You actually believe your own media releases. And it happens to so many people, and they lose their humility. And it's so profound. One of my favorite stories is there was a Roman slave in the ancient days named Honoriga, and his job was simply this: to stand behind the military commander called the dux and whisper into the ear of the military commander, memento homo, memento homo, memento homo, which means remember you're just a man. In other words, remember you're only human. It is such a great pull when you start to move to higher grades of victory to stop doing the very things that made you successful, to stop learning, to stop going to art galleries, to stop having a mentor, to stop getting up early, to stop taking care of your health set, to stop polishing your beliefs. It is so easy to fall in love with success, and that's why being successful is actually very dangerous, because you might stop doing the very things that brought your magic to the world. So the fifth element of this deconstruction, if you want to continually be upgrading your performances, is to never lose that white belt mentality. Never think you're a master. Actually, one thing about masters, they never think they are masters. And the moment you think you are a master, the moment you think you're the most important person in every room that you're in, the moment that your ego screams more loudly than your hunger to grow and represent mastery, is the beginning of your descent into obsolescence and irrelevance.
Those 4 habits. At the end of every day, you'll have this great feeling, I earned this, I deserve this, I'm worth it. So many of us walk around with a different belief. I'm not worth it, I winged that, I don't really deserve that, I don't deserve the praise, I don't deserve the recognition. I've worked with many, many, many international rock stars, and they have a great ability to destroy everything they've created because they say this, but you know, I wrote that song in 5 minutes. Someone said write a song about pain, I dashed it out, got millions of pounds, but I didn't really feel I earned that. And you know what I did? I got rid of it all. And I see that time after time after time again. But when you feel you've earned it, then you can keep it. When you feel good about it, I earned it, I deserve it, I'm worth it. Those 4 habits will allow you to begin and end every day knowing that you are worth it. Worth it is very different to worthless. Be worth it by embracing those 4 habits of self-discipline. Own them, adopt them. If they're unnatural, say, well, I'll just keep doing this until it becomes natural. You know, come on. Peeing in the toilet wasn't natural once. Feeding yourself wasn't natural. But it became natural over time. And that's exactly what self-discipline will do for you. Over time, it will feel natural. First, it's what you do, and then it becomes who you are. When it becomes who you are, your life will be amazing. So make your life amazing now. Make those habits your own. Life-changing habits of self-discipline. Do what you don't want to do, what you dislike, and do it first. Take action every single day on your way to success in the direction of your goals. Delay gratification. Reward yourself after the event, after the task, and never before. And massively praise yourself, big up yourself, build your praise muscle. Praise yourself the way you want someone else to praise you.
Avoid negative thoughts. Everywhere you go, there they are. I don't know if you remember that old commercial with the Verizon network where everywhere the guy walked, this network of people was going behind him like 15. That's like negative thoughts. Everywhere you go, there you are, and the thoughts are with you. However, how do you manage and how do you disempower your negative thoughts? That's the question you want to ask. If I'm going to have negative thoughts, and oh, by the way, as you become more and more strengthened in the area of possibility, intention, the more and more you prove to yourself that you can do it. I hope you get that. The more and more you prove to yourself that you are a good investment in dreaming, and you make the dream a reality. I don't care if it's not by the date you thought, it's not with the person you thought you'd be with, but the more you dream, the more you set intention, the more you get in action, and the more you produce the result you wanted, the more you manage negative conversations, the fewer you have. And when the negative comes up, here's the deal. When negative thoughts come up, you need to pull from evidence previously to dissipate that negative thought. You need to say, hold on, I have evidence that I can do this. Hold on, I have evidence that I communicate well. Hold on, I have evidence that I can transform my life. Let me pull back into my file and show you, current thought, that I have evidence. So There's a number of different things that you can do to minimize your negative thoughts and to dissipate, to break it down. It'll come, but how do you turn it around sooner, quicker, faster? I have negative thoughts. I just don't take out real estate in them. You can have negative thoughts, just don't take out real estate in them. Keep moving through it. When people are in personal development and they have negative thoughts, they think they failed themselves. No, now you just sit longer in the negative thought. Have the thought and go, okay, hold on, you're not real. You're not real, you're a story I'm making up. And here's the evidence to show that you're a story I'm making up. And then keep moving through it. But some of the ways that you can really minimize it, one, is to write this down, stay in radical action. Forward moving action that makes a difference, not just busyness. I need to be very clear. Don't just stay in action of busyness. Stay in action of forward moving conversations where you can see the result of the action. I'm busy, but 98 to 99% of what I'm busy with gives me evidence that my busyness matters. Just let that sink in, because people love to be busy. We love to talk about what we're busy doing, but is it a forward-moving action that will make a difference in your future? That's number one. Number two, write down your milestones. Most individuals are looking to hit a big goal, but what you haven't documented are the milestones that let you know that you're moving in the right direction. So if it takes you long to get to a goal because the goal is big, you can start having negative thoughts because it's taking you a long time to get there. Well, what you've forgotten to do is document the 7 milestones that you hit on your way to the big goal. When I figured that one out, because my goals have been big for a long time, I'm like, we're going to transform 1 million lives. Do you know how long it took me to get to 1 million lives? And so I had to go, we're 10,000 in. We're 11,500 in. And literally stop for a moment and celebrate. We're all like 3-year-olds. What gets celebrated gets repeated. And it's very difficult to beat yourself up during a celebration. And so the celebration can be you and one other person, you by yourself. But I would literally call up friends and go, I'd like to celebrate myself for. I know that sounds like self-indulgent or but negative self-talk is me beating myself up, so why not I celebrate myself? And so when I got in the habit of celebrating my milestones, and then people started celebrating my milestones, and then I started feeling the joy of the milestones. And milestones came a lot closer than the big, bodacious goals did. And so that would be my next thing, is to say, celebrate yourself. Not in big ways. You don't have to break the bank to celebrate yourself. Listen, I would have a friend join me for dinner and go, this is a celebration dinner because I just finished writing my program. I didn't do anything with it yet. I just put it on paper. Like, this is a celebration dinner because I just decided to write Chicken Soup for the African American Soul. I didn't even write anything yet. I just decided. And so you can decide what you call a milestone and what you want to celebrate. The next thing that I would say to minimize negative thoughts and sabotaging conversations is to ask someone to hold you accountable. Someone that's not afraid of you, someone that's running as fast or faster than you and further along than you, and someone that believes in who you're becoming, not who you've been. Be held accountable to your greatness. They won't let you take out real estate and negative conversation because they want to do their job and help get you there.
Which we obsess about. And so most people never take the time to analyze what they think about. The most successful people I know are the most self-aware, meaning they're aware of what they do and they're also aware of what they think, they're aware of how they're perceived. So today's message is about thinking. So here's some stats you need to know. Number one is, average person, you and I have about 75,000 thoughts a day rattling around in this thing we call our brains and our minds, 75,000 of them. The crazy thing is 91% of those thoughts are identical to the previous day and are identical to the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. And then we wonder why our life seems to repeat itself over and over again. So really the difference in our life, if we have 75,000 thoughts a day, here's the crazy thing, 91% of them are exactly the same. The separation in our life is in those 9% of their thoughts, because remember this, these magnets are pretty powerful. That's why I'm always saying that your obsessions become your possessions, because they do. You draw into your life exactly what it is you think about. It's a physical reality that you attract to yourself what you think about. So the difference in our life is 9% of our thoughts. That's why people say all the time, the difference between winning and losing is so small, it's almost too scary to talk about. And really, we've identified what it is. It's 9% of what we think about alters the direction of our life. So what I'm here to tell you today is, you've got to hone in and get aware of what you think about, and then alter those 9% of the thoughts that are variable on a daily basis to serve you. Because if you don't, these thoughts become like viruses. They're viruses in our minds. What happens in a computer when it gets a virus? It slows down. It becomes sluggish. It doesn't function at its optimal level. Same thing with our thinking. If we don't get those 9% of our thoughts to serve us, our lives go in a completely different direction. So remember this, you don't see things in your life as they are. You see things in life as you are. And so the more you alter you, the more you begin to see things differently. What's is amazing about this is we control who we are by what we think about. Think about this just for a second. Wherever you're sitting watching this, the chair that you're sitting in, if you're sitting in a chair, if you're driving in a car and you're listening to this, that seat you're in started in someone's mind as a thought. Right? Every detail of it, the fabric, the cushions, the way it's structured, every single piece of that started in someone's mind as a thought and then became a reality by putting out the pieces together. See, everything in life is that way as well. It always begins with a thought. When we think a new thought, here's what literally happens. Thinking a new thought literally opens a space up in our minds, in our lives, that never existed before prior to having that thought. It's like a brand new space you've created just by thinking it. And what happens is your unconscious and subconscious mind goes to work on filling in that space with the people, places, resources, and things to fill it up like a room and an architect would, to fill up that space and fully furnish it. That's the power of how we think. So literally everything that exists started as a thought in someone's mind and then became a material matter. And so you've got to begin to think about the things you want to materialize in your life on a regular basis and think about it repetitiously. Literally the things that we obsess about become the things that we possess in our lives. Most people, those variable 9% of the thoughts is the new thing they're worried about, the new fear they have, the new response to an email they have to make, and they never dictate the terms. Remember this, your mind is a weapon. And you got to begin to use it and pick that weapon up and control it. Most people are out of control with their mind. They don't point it at something. They let the world point it and they misfire all the time. So today, I want you to pick up that weapon that is your mind and begin to point it at the things you want, knowing that it's a magnet that draws to you the things in your life that you would most like to have or that you would most not like to have.